Welcome to In the Know with Steph and Joe. In the Know with Steph and Joe is all about small business development. These two entrepreneurs bring real-life experience, laughter, and, well, just a ton of knowledge on how to build your small business and make it thrive. After all, this is your creation. Now learn how to make it sing. In the Know with Steph and Joe airs Fridays at 3 p.m. right here on 216 The Net. Like, follow Steph's books and Restoration One of Cary, along with 216 The Net on Facebook, and subscribe to the 216 The Net YouTube channel.
Phones are dead. Oh, there it goes. Now you can hear us.
Hi, Mom.
Now it's better.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, you missed the best 5 minutes of the show right there.
So here we are talking about Eli.
What
How we changed, right? So internally, I feel there's the internal and the external, right?
Right.
External being, no, you have changed, Joe. You've grown when we started the show, or you've done things differently. And then there's the internal of where I go, no, I'm the same human I've always been. I believe in the same, right, exterior things. Great, Mom. Glad Mom can hear us. So I believe in the same exterior things that are like I see them as exterior, but my values, my morals, right? So those are always going to be the same standard for me, and I don't feel I've changed.
Yeah.
So when people say you've changed, I go, no, my values are the same. I haven't changed. When you said that to me, I went, no, I haven't changed. What are you talking about? I'm the same person I've always been.
Right.
Right? But exterior, I've probably changed. Interior, I'm the same person.
I think your core values and your foundation will be pretty even keel throughout your life unless you have some big, like, life-changing moment.
I know
But
some
there's
people
just
that have
gonna
changed
be-
their core values
Well,
because they suck.
Your core values could change,
Sorry.
but I'm just saying, like, you as the foundation of you and what you stand for are going to be pretty even keel throughout the most of your life, unless you realize, like, I don't know, you were in a cult and then you got out and you're like, oh, that was crazy.
Or maybe you're not in a cult and then you go into the
Right.
cult,
So, like,
and you change your values.
but that's like
to go into the cult.
that's a very big life-changing item that would cause you to change your foundation.
Totally.
But, like, I mean, I know it would be shocking to believe, but, like, I don't feel like I got, like, really, like, I didn't really find my voice and start setting boundaries with people until I got into high school. Like, I was a little bit more introverted up through middle school compared to how I am now.
Well, let's talk about that. When hang on now.
All right, tell me about your mother.
Was there a life-changing event in high school that changed the way?
I had a baby.
That'll do it.
Thank you. That's what I'm getting at.
I became an adult very fast.
Really?
Well,
Like,
thank you.
Grew up real
That's
quick.
kind of what I was getting at, was like, you were like, hey, middle school changed, bounced around my values, my whatever.
it's not my
But then-
values. I just was a little bit, I just didn't set
Wishy-washy.
boundaries, and I just wasn't as
Wishy-washy.
expressive of
Eli,
my
you
feelings.
just wait till you're out of college. Don't grow up.
I don't go to college.
Just
Don't grow up till you're
Keep-
old enough to
keep
be out
everything.
of college.
But
hidden.
it's just, you know, so
But
I
then-
feel
but
like
then- hang on, it hit you and you went. That was a
Good
provocative sound.
Good squeak.
but I feel
So wait, hang on. Something showed up and you had to change your values. That's what
not
I'm
my
asking
values. My values didn't
you.
change.
Your values didn't change. So your outward
I just-
perception of your values changed.
No, I just decided to stop being a doormat. Like, I had somebody else that I had to protect and live for. So I was done, and we were going to start setting boundaries. Like, I found my big girl voice, and then that's just what happened. And
Stood
then
up.
now
I
I've
love
just
that.
been using it ever since. And I'm not everybody's flavor because of how direct I am. Like, not everybody can handle that. You know, but it is what it is. So, like, if I see somebody that I maybe went to, like, elementary school with compared to somebody I went to college with, they would have different ideas of who I was at that time when they knew me in my life.
And so when you met those people and then came to see them later in life and you were a different person, did they say to you, hey, you've changed. Oh, you're a different person. How did that come across to you? Or how did you see, their change in view to you? Right? Like, obviously you knew them before
Yeah.
and then you knew them after.
Yeah.
So what was the different change that you saw?
I mean, I just think we kind of grew up. I mean, that's just kind of what it kind of boils down to. Everybody kind of grew up and started doing their own thing. But like for example, I had a friend, and we met in 3rd grade when I moved to Streamwood, and we were friends up until basically we were 21, and then we just parted ways. But we were like inseparable, like attached at the hip. Like she lived at my house during the summers. She went on family vacations with my family. We were like sisters. And then once we turned 18, we just went into different directions. We just changed and went down different paths. And then we just stopped hanging out.
Did you find that different direction? He keeps making squeaky noises.
Stop. Stop. You're going to hit his braces. And I swear to God, those are like so expensive to fix.
I'm only going above the nose.
Jesus Christ.
They've been hitting my head.
So
All above the nose. So when you wait, hang on. When your friend changed or you felt you changed.
It could have been either like I could have
Either
felt
or.
that she changed, or she felt that I changed, or whatever, because, you know, like it's much easier to look at somebody else and be like, man, you've changed, but I've been the same person for the last 20 years.
My internal values are the same.
Yeah, but you're like, the values are not really what's the thing that's on trial. It's the fact that
I don't even have to do it this time.
it's the fact that you grow up. Like, you know, like you could have a friend that likes, I don't know, starting fires in fields, and you kind of hang out with him and do that. Like, even as an adult, you might enjoy it, but it's not like you go out and you become an arsonist. Like, so that person might have gone down that path and become an arsonist. You opted to change and not, and now you guys don't hang out as much.
Now I'm a firefighter.
Right. Yes,
What?
that could have
What?
happened. You know, so it's like you could be and do something as a kid, but then grow out of it as an adult, or you could find something as an adult that you never did as a kid, or whatever the situation is. But when you used to do something like that with a close friend, and then all of a sudden one of you doesn't do it anymore, someone's going to feel like someone changed. So either someone evolved and grew up, or someone didn't.
When somebody tells you changed, do you feel you've changed? Because to me, my internal values have always been the same.
Yeah. Your values can be the same, Joe, and you could still change.
yeah,
Like, I feel like you're just not separating the two.
your decision making changed when that first baby pooped out of your wife.
Nope.
Yep,
Guarantee
it. Because
maybe a bit, but
don't say
Okay.
nope then. Like 100% no. Maybe a little. No.
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Absolutely.
No.
Like, for
No.
example, like
No.
so Gavin was around, obviously, when Rich and I got together. Gavin was 7 years old.
100%.
He was 7 years old. So Gavin was already like a living, breathing person and doing whatever. When I had Eli and Rich experienced the whole like pregnancy
making-
and like and
baby
delivery
receiving.
and all of that,
Correct.
then all of a sudden he got like real conscious about his health and wanting to like extend longevity, and like he started eating differently, he started working out more, he was
So
more
That's
consistent
why he's a
in his actions.
swole mother.
Let me ask a question for the sake of this show. You've changed insult or compliment. Has anybody ever said to you, Joe, in your life, man, Joe, you've changed?
No.
Not one person. Then you've never changed. How about you, Steph?
Has anybody ever said that to me?
Yeah.
Maybe like in my early 20s.
Right. So there's change,
hang on.
Right?
I could say nobody's outright said, or in some iteration, hey, you've changed. Right? Now, I can see when I talk to people from my past and I come up to them and talk to them, that I could see they look at me differently
Sure.
than when I was younger, right?
Yeah,
Or
you're a
we
business-
were younger.
You're a business
right?
owner now. Yeah.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I was a friend. I'm no longer a friend. I'm, I have a business. I'm an owner of a business. I worked in insurance, whatever
Right.
it may be, however it may belong, however it may come upon this actual spot and
Yeah.
when I'm talking to this human. But
Right.
for the most part, no, I don't think anybody really comes to me and goes, "You've changed." To be honest, it might be more the fact that people come to me and I see the difference in their brain and they go, it's probably more like, "Hey, I've grown up. You still seem back where we were in high school."
Right. And yeah, I mean, that happens all the time. But is that an insult or a compliment then when you feel that? That's
My values are the same. Internally, I'm the same human. So I don't know. I don't know.
so if somebody came
Is that
up,
good or bad? I don't know.
so you don't, if somebody's like, man, you've changed.
I think it's the way they say it.
Yeah.
It's
A lot
all
of
in the like in the tone
context,
of the way they say it, because
Totally.
I mean, but in all reality, even if somebody said that to me with a negative tone or they say it to me with a positive tone, I still take it as a compliment. Because yes, I know I've changed. I know I'm not the same like 15-year-old kid compared to being a 40-year-old woman with a business and a family.
Yeah.
To Mom's point, Linda, to your point, everybody has grown up, right? We all throughout time and space, throughout 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, whatever it is that your age is, 30 years, 20 years, you are going to learn and you are going to grow up over that time. I'm not saying I'm not. I'm not saying I haven't officially, quote unquote, changed, right? Like, I don't know, but I'd like to say that all of my values are exactly the same that I felt when I was.
Your values are so different than you
Yeah, but then I
evolving.
haven't changed. I'm the same human.
No, you could still have your same core values or your same non-negotiables or whatever you want to call them.
Joe, what is one thing you absolutely love to do with your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, like, hey, this a ball game or whatever, right? I don't know.
Go fishing.
Go fishing. So
whatever. That's my hobby.
So
hobby.
So
That's my hobby.
so your buddy says when you're 20 years old, hey Joe, let's go for a week-long fishing excursion down in Louisiana. You're like, all in. Yeah. Okay. He same friend, same situation, says that now. Except your daughters have 2 show recitals. Your daughters have a basketball game, and your daughters say, Dad, I really want you here. You going fishing?
So you're talking different things, right? Because
No. You stay with me. Stay with me. Are you going fishing?
Yep.
You're going to say, okay, honey, sorry, I'm not going to your recital. I'm not going to your basketball game, even though you asked.
Again, we have to talk because again, what? No,
Okay.
what was in the prior version, right? Like, I could have had my sister's basketball game that was a championship, and the basketball game that my kid has at this point is a regular game, and it's the second one of the season, and it's not a big,
Right.
Yeah, but if she
so what
came
you're
to
saying,
you though and asked you,
Right.
Daddy, can
and
you be
she's
there?
like, "Hey, can you be there?"
Yes.
Yes.
No, you said you're going fishing.
Well,
Kent said
again.
so. Nobody asked you
you're
if you could.
pigeon-toeing me into this.
No, what I'm
response,
saying is, you're saying your values haven't changed. I'm saying they have, because your values at 20 without a child, I'm going fishing. Your values with a child, you go,
No.
she's more important than fishing.
No.
Ooh,
No.
your daughter is not more important than fishing.
So hang on. Again,
You just said no.
Again, you asked me what I wanted to do. Now, you did not propose a family situation in
Yeah,
the
he
first
did.
situation.
No, because in the first situation,
You didn't
you're
have a
20
family.
with no kids.
You didn't have a family.
You didn't have kids at
Right.
20.
Well,
You didn't
I
have
also
kids.
don't have like my sister's championship basketball
Yeah, I
situation.
know. Like, but this is
which
just
I actually
specifically
have.
about
And
like
I
you.
turned off fishing to go to my sister's
Right.
championship basketball program, right? So at 20, I did turn down fishing to go to my family event. So if you would have proposed a family event at 20 in that situation, yes, I would have said, I'm going to the family event, right? And I would go to the family event. That's not to say that I can't stretch my day and also go fishing. Okay? So
In Louisiana, so you tell your daughter, yep, going. Dad's going fishing. It's not a big game for you. Don't worry.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
No, that's what I'm saying is everybody's values change in time with life because things happen. You grow, you mature,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally.
Your core value, your core may stay the same. I'm a same fun-loving guy. I love to fish, all that. But 20 years old without a child or responsibility,
right?
Your values are different. You're like, hey, I'm
so
going fishing.
At 20 years old, what would you do? Same situation. Give me the answer.
At 20 years old, I go fishing.
And then
I'm always at my kids' stuff. Always.
22 years old. You got at
I was
20
married
years,
at 20.
hang on,
I was
20
married
years
at
old.
22.
Hang on. 20 years old, you
Yep.
got a chance to go fishing.
Yep.
Or you can go to your sibling and watch their basketball game.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
What are you doing?
I'm fishing. I'm the youngest. So at 20, at 20,
well, what if you weren't the
20,
youngest?
at
No,
20,
you're not the youngest. That's not.
I am the
that's not-
youngest.
No, well,
so at 20,
I'm
at
not.
20,
No,
everybody was out of the
are-
house.
But these are variables that are brought in outside of. So you're not the youngest.
But I am.
Nope, you're not. Nope. Well,
I
you
can't-
brought things on me.
I can't answer because I am the youngest, right?
But you're not.
So we'll go the other way. 18. My brother's in the band, and it's a band recital, his big famous one, right? I'm still going. I don't band's born. I'm going fishing at 18 because I don't care. He's my brother. It's like whatever, right?
There it is.
Right at 18.
So your values then
Yeah.
are I'm going fishing, but then come post
with a
baby,
post
your own
right
spawn.
Yeah,
seedlings.
And I'm like,
I'm
not missing.
You're
my
following
kids thing.
seedlings.
Yep, I'm not missing
Okay.
my kid stuff.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But that's why I say, in time, the world changes, your situations change, everything changes. Your values will change because life becomes different.
My mom said if you went fishing, you and your suitcase would be on the front porch.
Video rumor.
I'm glad I'm not
Game
married to
boomer.
Linda and I'm married to Carrie.
That's right. That's right.
Carrie lets me go fishing, Mom.
Right?
Video game Gooner 58. Hello. We just have to say that. So I have to say, I will absolutely 100% stick to my values. Values, whatever, but it doesn't matter. If I have kids, post kids, pre kids, I still put the same value on my family, whether it be my own spawn or
your
my siblings, right? Same family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go and put the same value on that, right? Like that didn't change. So to your point, no, I don't change going to see my little sister's basketball game versus
But that was a championship game.
Versus my daughter's.
What about a non-championship?
Versus my daughter's basketball game.
Did you ever miss one of your sister's basketball games?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
Your
values are different.
I mean, like,
but I missed my kids' basketball games too.
Like my parents used to ride all the time, like bikes, motorcycle. So they would go to Bike Week. They'd go to Sturgis. They'd go to Daytona. They were riding all over the U.S. And me and my brother were younger, and we would go to my grandparents' house and all that. But then things started changing in society, and phones got so much more interesting, and people were distracted, and then some of their friends started to get hit on bikes.
Yep.
And they've been in situations where they had halos and all this stuff. Then the second my mom became like a grandma, like that was her tipping point for the bike. And now the bike has basically sat for 23 years.
What kind of bike is it?
It's a full dresser Harley. It's a vintage now because it's
if you'd like somebody to ride 19. I'll drive it.
It's like a bagger. It's like a full. It's a nice bike.
I'll drive that around.
Ken wants to ride it.
You're gonna go
hard.
pick it up in Arizona?
I would.
Oh, he would. God, Ken would ride it so hard.
But you know what I mean? Like
all the way here.
It's like she was fine until
sorry, Mom. It's my bad, Mom.
She was fine, and then things in society started to change where people were distracted and not aware of motorcyclists. And then she became a grandma.
That is actually a very good point to my dad. My dad tells the point. He was so hard. What do you call it? Red,
Mm-hmm.
right? For ATVs. So much so that when I was
those were the old 3-wheelers.
When I was 8, this was in early 90s, he bought 3-wheelers.
Oh yeah.
Used.
Honda.
Hondas, Yamahas. It was a one Honda, one Yamaha, and probably one Kawasaki. There was 3 of them, and they were 3-wheelers. And my older brother and I head on, and literally, literally, I told you the story. We literally sent the 3-wheelers flying in each direction.
Stop getting distracted and just tell your story.
And we sent them flying in each direction. And my dad came out, and we literally were limping the 3-wheelers into the garage. And one of the 3-wheelers, the back axle was 90 degrees cranked. I mean, we had on that hard. And we were 90 degrees, and he got rid of all of them. All 3 of them were gone the next day. And he's like, I'm done. And that was his. So I think to that point is tipping points are maybe traumatic experiences, right?
Life events, yeah.
Traumatic experiences might be more of a tipping point, because that to me was my dad's tipping point on I'm done with quote unquote fun toys.
Yeah.
Right? We had all the fun toys.
The recreation vehicle.
We had everything. And God, I have wrecked so many vehicles.
Yeah. Ashley, my oldest daughter is they're having a baby in the end of November, December, right? Beginning of December. Everybody's like, oh, you're so excited to be a grandpa. I'm like, I don't know. No. They're like, well, how can you not be? I go, I've never been a grandparent. Now, again, when that life event happens, that traumatic life event happens, then I may go, oh, it's the best thing in the world. But I don't know. I've never been a grandparent, right? As a dad, I'm like,
life events could be forward or backward.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, right? It could be an accident.
Now Alice is psyched.
Or it could be excited as shit.
She's buying clothes.
She started knitting.
Oh my god.
You guys are gonna have a bassinet at your house.
Oh,
she's gonna learn to make those what are those octopus like knit things? You see those?
Crocheted octopus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but now, right? So today, my values haven't changed. I haven't changed.
You feel. However, I would like to say my counterpart over here would say that you've changed.
As soon as that baby comes out, it's gonna change. He's gonna change.
Oh yeah, that's what I say. When it poops out of my daughter,
as soon as it happens, and he holds that grandbaby for the first time, that's it. It's over.
Yeah, I don't even like holding babies.
It's different when it's your grandbaby.
I understand that, right?
So, I mean, I don't have a grandbaby.
From what
I
understand, right? Yeah. Right. From what I've been told, what I've witnessed.
Yeah, really close.
Right. But I think when somebody comes up and say you've changed, I think it's a stiletto, right? I think it's a dual-edged knife. They're meaning it as an insult, but as a business owner, as somebody who's moving on in life, it's a compliment because you're like, I'm not the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they say you've changed. Does it mean you've changed? Like,
well, like the way they viewed you changed, or like what they used to do with
they've changed.
Hey, we used to do.
You know, I mean, like
Coke on the toilet seat, truck stops, Joe.
Bumps on bumps, bumps on bumpers. Yeah, I understand. So what?
We haven't. Listen, folks, we haven't. I'm just saying that we're as an example. We don't do drugs.
But hang on. If somebody comes to you and says you've changed, but internally your values, your morals are all the same. Yeah. Does that mean they've changed? I challenge y'all to think about those situations and say, is it more that they've changed and they're viewing you in a different?
Yeah, I mean, you could have stayed the same and
one of
they
those
changed.
Scope lights, right? One of those, right? Went from the kids, right?
A Viewmaster.
There it is. Is that really what happened? And they're coming to you going, you've changed. Well, no, motherfucker. My values, my morals,
Steph,
my internals are all the
back,
same.
Go back and watch
Sorry,
go back
Eli.
and watch the beginning of the old intro here, right? She's changed.
She didn't grow.
She shrunk,
Oh, she did.
right? I look like you, Joe, when I graduated high school. I was $145.
You know, I love
wasn't
that, but
6'2"
nobody looks as close to me as me. Because, like,
Yeah, you don't age. You look good. Yeah.
not that. Like, I've gained weight, and people look at me and go, I was your size. And I go, no, you weren't my size, because nobody's this skinny that I know of.
That's an adult.
That's
without
an adult.
without an
not
eating
like 12.
without an eating disorder.
There's no. I was an anorexic kid. I was put into hospitals because I was so small as a child.
That's crazy.
So
Now look at you've changed.
Great, thanks. Now I look like a decently healthy adult, semi-anorexic.
Right.
You don't look like you belong on the commercials anymore, so it's fine.
With flies on his eyes. Never mind.
We're gonna get in trouble.
Send 50 cents and
We're gonna get in trouble.
50 cents.
We're getting in trouble. No, don't send 50 cents. Send $1. I'm
Shayna,
hungry. I'm hungry.
Shayna says it's code for I need to reevaluate my standing with you. That's what I see. People want to put and keep you in a labeled box. I like that, Shayna.
Which,
Yeah, because if you have friends that like to party and then you stop partying,
thank you.
Then
That's
it's
my
like,
point.
you know.
Thank you, Shayna.
You've changed.
Great.
So, like, yeah, those people that still like to party would say that you've changed, and they might feel it in a negative way because they miss when you would be like partying with them and you were super fun. Now you're still the same person, just in their eyes, you're just not as fun.
So I can go out, I can golf, I can do the normal day, right? And have fun. As Shayna would say, what would Joe's label be? My label would be one of my employees, and my wife calls me Drunkle Joe. So I'm like Drunk Uncle Joe, right? To all of my employees, to all my not that I'm actually drunk all the time, but like it's like they're like, you know, it's Uncle Joe. It's Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe's going to show up. He's going to come in. He's going to come in like a tornado. He's going to blow in. He's going to blow out. He's going to have these great spots of wisdom. But then he's also going to be a bit off the wall sometimes. That's Drunkle Joe, right? You laugh because it's so true.
I've experienced.
Drunkle Joe.
So what's my label? I don't know. What's your label? What's your label? To be honest, I merely look at it as how do I care to continue my values, right? So like you guys are like, oh, you changed. No, I didn't. My values are the same, right? That's the way I look at myself, is internally, my values haven't changed.
My label is I'm the guy at a forest fire that's going out and starting more little fires. So.
Here's all right.
Right. Well, I mean, it contains the fire, but I'm starting fires all over the place.
You're the loofah, the baffle, that little
bellower.
that little puffer that goes. I'm not the fuel,
right?
But I might be a bit of an accelerant.
So true.
Kind of the way I look at myself is like more like along the lines of like, in case of emergency, break glass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I should be in a box with a glass face. And then if there's an emergency, you break it and I come running out and I help the situation. And then I go back in the box. That's probably the best situation for me, because really when the shit hits the fan, that's when I really come into play very well. And I'm very calm. I'm very good. But if no shit's hitting the fan, God, I'm a wrecking ball. Right? So keep me in the glass box until the shit hits the fan.
But you're not, because you love to educate. though too, and you can't be in that box being an educator.
Well, you can read the sign on the label on the box, right? And I can stay in the box. You can still read the label. I'm educating.
Not when you're. I've seen you in action when you're educating. it ain't the broken glass. Joe,
Come
that's for
on.
sure. No, you're brilliant at it. I'm telling you.
I
but it's
know,
different,
but like,
right? But it's different.
I
You've
love
changed.
to educate.
You change when you.
I'm different. I'm different.
Not different.
Fuck. Damn it.
No, you're very good at it. I'm not saying you're not very good at everything
I love
else.
that. I love that.
I'm just saying when you're instructing, when you're in front of a bunch of people, you're good at it.
When I can command the crowd,
Yep.
you're right. I change.
But you're still goofy when you do it. I mean, but not crazy.
You're still true to your core,
Correct.
but you just
Thank you.
present
That's
in a
what
different
I'm
way.
saying, though.
Right.
But
So everybody agrees that could be the
Right.
same, but you could still change. Like my core values are the same, but like people have told me like mom Stephanie is different than boss Stephanie is different than drunk Stephanie.
But you haven't changed.
But like my values are that like my core
You
is the
haven't changed.
same.
Really? Because I haven't seen a difference in those three.
Really? Because all of them seem to be the same to me.
Really
You
seem
know,
to be
like-
the same to me.
Like I feel like
I'm scared of every one of them.
like like when you go to like man camp,
Yeah.
The stuff that you guys do at man camp and with your guy friends is not the same stuff that you and Alice are going to go do on a Saturday night.
Never. No.
You know what I mean? So like there's a difference in that, and that doesn't mean that your core has changed, but you just
If
adapt into the
with the
situation.
guys, if I'm out with the guys, I will make the same comment to the server that I will make when I'm out with my wife.
I don't know, it's always amazing to me, but yeah.
What do you mean?
No, Rich wouldn't dare do that. No. Well, actually, I don't know what Rich does when I'm not there, but
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
However,
Shayna
I can tell you, I do not change.
Shayna says, I knew a guy like that. He presented as a slurring idiot and flipped to superhero when a guy had a heart attack. I still think of that when I see a goof. Most are just goofs, but still. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I'm just saying, like, I
You're a goof.
wouldn't
goof.
drink to the, like, if I go out with my friends and I'm going to have like a good night out and whatever, and we're in a safe environment and we're drinking, I'm not going to do that same stuff. Like when I'm hosting a party at my house when my kids are around and other people's kids are around, somebody has to maintain to make sure nothing happens in the house. Like for you, it's Carrie. Carrie doesn't get like drunk and crazy. So
She doesn't drink.
Right. So you have that option to do that in the house and out of the house. But like when I have people in my house, I don't drink. Well, I just don't drink like that around my kids.
Right.
Like I don't, like I'll have like 1 or 2 drinks.
Right.
That's it. But like I don't do that. And some people
Should
that
we-
I know,
should we ask?
but some people I know like maintain the same thing. Like whether they're with their kids or they're not with their kids, they don't have
Status
a
quo.
problem being
Status
that
quo.
parent that will call an Uber with their kids from the bar, like a restaurant,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
go home like that, which is fine. There's no judgment there, but like I just don't do that. But that could just be my core is different than their core.
But my
But
question
then in that case, would you say that they don't change? Because technically they don't change. They are drunk out with their friends. They're drunk with their kids. I just don't do that.
Well,
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it,
I
and I'm
know.
not judging anybody for it.
Nor am I.
I just don't.
my question is, I'm judging. My question is, do you, it's not that you change. It's not that other people change. It's, do you feel as though, like for me, I can go out and hang out and be out exterior with
Mhm.
whatever stuff I want to do.
Mhm.
Right. I have a lot of exterior things that people know about me,
Mhm.
that are beyond just liquid.
Mhm.
And so if I were to be out and about doing that, is it something that you look at as, to me and be like, oh, well, that's Joe. That's what he does.
No, I mean, you could be consistent across the board. I'm just saying that, like, since you're more of somebody that will be consistent across the board, like if you're going to drink, you're going to drink regardless of the company that is in the
Whoever,
environment.
right?
Okay.
Right.
But when you've gone out with me where that my kids have not been around and there's been drinks, and you've been around me when I've been with Eli's gone to one of our meetings and he's been there, and I had an iced tea versus margaritas.
Totally.
Were you sitting there at the table being like, God, she's changed?
What a bitch.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, absolutely not.
Here's what I'll say. Everybody changes. If you don't change, you'll break. And here's the example. Take a look at Chris Farley. Take a look at Robin Williams. Take a look at John Belushi. Right? Nobody would let them change. You're the funny person. You have to stay funny. Yet, because they wanted to change or needed to change, they fought massive depression. Right? And so, look what happened when you can't change. Right? As I think you end up breaking.
Which, that's again, is right? That.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, is that like internal, external? Is that like, there's different things that you have.
It's windy.
Are we going to blow down in here?
Maybe.
There's different things that you have to change. Is it internal, external, right? Like, how does that play into the changes that people see you as, right? Chris Farley, for one instance, we could look at him and say, well, his internals may not have changed, but he could have changed his externals, right? That's kind of the difference between what I've been thrown out there is.
So what happens?
Internals versus externals.
So then now I have a question then. So what happens, like, since clearly, like you were raised one way and in one environment, Carrie was raised one way in an environment, Rich and I were raised in pretty opposite households. I don't know about you and Alice. Okay.
We called Alice's family the Waltons. So way different raising.
Okay. So clearly when you got married,
different.
So you married somebody that grew up differently than you. Okay.
Stark opposite.
Yeah.
Right. So now you have a kid.
100%.
Yeah.
Who takes the knee on raising the kid? What parenting style? Because you're not going to raise your kids exactly the same way you were raised, because now you have this
I'm not allowed to.
Okay, so then now you have this.
It's illegal to raise my kids the way I was raised.
There's a thing called DCFS.
We live in Illinois. I'm not allowed to raise my kids the way I was raised.
But I'm just saying, like, you have to change in order to then now develop this new person. And they're a little bit of this and a little bit of that, or they're 100% of this, and bow
You're
out.
shit out of luck.
But you know what I mean? Like, so
totally.
There has to be change, and there has to be adapting.
Hey, back in the day, you were just gone all day. I would not let my kid
free range. Free range, Shauna. Free range meant you go away, and when the dinner bell rings, you're not back, or if the street lights come on and you're not back.
Yeah, we did street lights. We didn't have a dinner bell.
Wait, your ass is whooped.
Yeah.
So you're not free range. You're just out there roaming free, and then you got to recognize still the hard knock life of get your ass back.
Even cows know in time.
Get your ass back in the house.
Now, the funny thing is, to what you're saying, Steph, is that Spencer and Ashley, 30 and 28, my oldest children, look at my 14-year-old and go, God, you're so easy on her.
We talked about this last show, right?
Yeah. Right. So obviously, in my kids' eyes, Alice and I have changed, right? And I sit here and go, no. Listen, I still have the same conversations with her as I did with you.
Mm-hmm.
No,
right? I'm
internally the same human I was. My values have not changed.
But I go, I didn't know what I was doing with you two. I'll be honest. I was never a parent, and you were a testing board. And now that I've gotten older, get a little more wiser, and figure out it wasn't worth the battle, because now I just have to say it once or twice, and we're done.
But it's also like, when you're a business owner and you're trying to put together a marketing strategy, like you have to adapt and change as things come up and outside factors that you didn't know. Like your goal, your foundational goal is going to be the same, but you're going to have to change to achieve that foundational goal.
So,
and maintain.
My only press on this episode is when you say you've changed. I'm going to say internally, no. Externally, sure. Right? So there's two different parts to this conversation. Internally, no. My values are the same. If my values change internally, then yeah, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, Shayna says very much like a business plan. Great analogy.
I mean,
For
like adapting and changing and like you have it has to, things have to change to evolve. Like there's no way
agreed
that
on the
it's
outside.
gonna be right, but your foundation,
internal values.
Right. So your goal is to grow your Restoration One as big as you can grow it and take over the restoration world. So like
same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Right.
Try to take over the world.
Right. So, but when you and Carrie started 7 years ago, okay, like what you guys thought would work in theory may or may not have worked, and you've changed and adapted and added things, added new layers, put policies and procedures into place. You guys have done things differently as the business has grown.
That's why you're working with a coach,
Right.
a sales coach.
Right.
Okay. Sort of.
Well, yeah.
My
same
mindset has been in the same
but you
goddamn
didn't know,
trajectory since day one.
I said that though from the beginning. Like your goal and direction is the same, but how you get to that goal and direction, what you guys thought 7 years ago was the best strategy to get there, you guys have had to change along the way to be able to still get that same foundational goal that you guys sat down when you decided to open up Restoration One.
Agreed.
And now it's, that you guys have seen, this change has really been good for us in the last 2 years with whatever you've implemented. Now you're here. If you guys would have stuck to your same plan from day one, you might not be here yet.
Correct.
So you had to change to get there.
Said, am I changing or is my plan changing? It's not me that's
your
changing.
Core is the same.
It's my plan.
Right. Your core is the same, but the plan hasn't changed.
But that's what I'm saying, though, from the beginning of the show is I haven't changed. My plan may change slightly.
So your
what are we saying, Mom?
So your values at 14 are the same as now?
Fuck yeah, they are. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Eli. Yes, Mom, they are. My values are the exact same.
I don't know. I don't think mine are.
No?
No.
Yep. Mine are.
No.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a lot calmer now that I've gotten older.
That doesn't change it. Calm is not a value.
Yeah, because it changes some of the things that I would be willing to do at a younger age.
Hang on. Time out. Okay, time out.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, nobody believes.
Call bullshit. Hang on, she's calling bullshit on you.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
She's calling bullshit on you.
No, she's not. My mom knows me and the changes that I've made.
Wait.
I lived with her for most of my life.
Wait.
So hang on. Hold on. Shayna says core values are hardwired. It's in the collecting facts and life experience that hones the value.
Right.
You can't see it until you get a few miles behind you.
Fair enough. And I'm not saying at 14 I had enough miles behind me, Shayna. I appreciate that comment because that's totally true. But what I'm telling to you is, what I'm asking is to you as well, right? To both of you is, for me at 14, I knew what's important to me, right? Certain things in family, certain amount of business, certain amount. I did not want, right? At 14, I knew that work is not going to take over my life. My uncle, who owns and runs it runs a insurance company. That at 14, he knew work was his life, guaranteed. My little brother loves his family. Definitely wanted family to be part of his life. At 14, I can guarantee he knew that his value in life was his family. That's what I'm saying is I agree with it. What y'all are saying is that in life, yeah,
okay,
you can change some certain things, some external things, but at 14, if I feel as though
Okay, well, here, I got a
work
question
is
then.
really important to me, I'm going to blow through work or family or whatever. But at 14, no, I feel as though
Okay,
most
so
people
here,
should really know.
But like one of my core values that was definitely instilled in me by my parents is
Thank you.
treat others the way you want to be treated. What
Okay.
that looked at like for me at 14, vastly different than what that looks like for me at 40. My core value is the same because I still treat people the way I want to be treated, but the boundaries that have been set due to life experience has changed that value.
So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, what does it rank in your?
But that's what my mom's
life?
saying though. Like at 14, if one of your core values was what I just said was one of my
Treating
core values,
people,
right?
Right.
Shayna says, I've always been 40.
But you know what I mean? Like your
Girl,
core,
me too.
Your core value can still be like a core value of yours, but the way it looks from when you were 14 to 40 is gonna be different. There's
fair.
That's what my mom's saying. Is that your
Okay.
core didn't change, but the way the value has grown within your life experience is going to be different of what
let's
you're
face it. We're
doing.
Okay, that's
So-
maturity.
Right. So
right? That's
yeah.
maturity.
But you still have your same core. Nobody's trying to take your core away.
Well,
But
that's what I'm saying. Like,
but as you've
as a 14-year-old, I would never go and destroy somebody's property.
mm-hmm. But now as an adult, game on.
Fuck yeah.
They pay me to do it.
I did.
Fuck yeah. I will flood my own goddamn home. But like I would never top of my priority in my values is do not destroy other people's things. Okay? One of my top values. Take care of other people's shit. You go and use somebody's thing, give it back to them better than the way you received it, right? So as a kid, if some of my buddies were going to go and drive a truck through somebody's lawn and tear up the lawn, I'm getting out of the truck. I'm not riding in that. I'm not doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a moral value. So it's how much does that moral value rank, right, in your hierarchy? To me, if it's top 3, top 4, 5, whatever, I don't care what it is. But like those ones, I don't care. I'm not wavering on them.
Right.
I've never wavered on them.
But I didn't waver. It just has evolved into something different or more as I've gotten older.
Thicker.
Yeah. As I've gotten older, or, maybe it's slightly different because now as an adult, if you borrowed something of someone's and you damaged it, you can financially, in theory, replace it.
I could buy
versus
12 of them.
Versus when you were
if I borrow something
14,
of somebody. Correct. Correct.
So, like there's just different things. Like you might have been, not saying that you're careless now as an adult, but the fear of damaging somebody's property or thing at 14 might have been a little bit greater because you didn't have the means to replace it. Now you do, not saying that you're careless, but it might just be a little bit different.
I don't know. I think like I'm even more conscious now. Even though at 14 I couldn't afford it, I still would have. I'm better now. I don't know. I'm more knowledgeable now. I can return something way better. Oh, well, now I know how to grease it because I'm 40 years old instead of 14. So I know actually how to insert a zip fitting.
I gave you a new chain.
You did. Thank you. See, that's my point. That's my point. He borrowed my chainsaw and he gave me a new chain.
Right.
You didn't give me a new chain. Yeah. No, you.
You were just so happy I didn't slice my arm off. That's what I gave you, is the fact that I have all that.
So true.
So it's a tough. I think it's a tough question for dudes because I just been sitting here reflecting on when I was 14. What was important to me was basketball when I was 14, and I'm still doing that. It's still very important to me.
Thank you.
right? Now, if I'm coaching, right? But now that Spawn, I've got my kid. Now that's always going to come first, right? So even if I have a game that I have to coach, and it's the championship game, and one of my kids need me, I'm there for my kid, right? There'll be other championship games, perhaps. Who knows, right? But it's still very, very important to me. And the joy and decisions and friendships and things with basketball. I mean, at 14, I'm just trying to think that, I know I've grown. And that's why I say it might be harder for a dude because we all men are idiots, right? And we don't ever really
Fair.
change from being an idiot.
Fair.
Right? We just
Fair.
we get bigger idiot or different idiot ideas. I tell my girls that all the time, like, all men are idiots, right? But women aren't. And
Do you know how to make an idiot say how?
I do.
Good one. Continue. Sorry.
No, I don't know. Was it conviction or lack of opportunity? Hot girl invites you to come with her, but you have to work. What happens?
I go with the hot girl. Oh, sorry.
Work.
That was too fast.
I don't even know. I don't know.
Sorry, my bad. Here's the deal. Conviction, lack of opportunity. I think that there is always opportunity out there for many people. Yeah. It really is how you look at the situation, how you perceive things, that you're going to see the opportunity or you're not, right? And if you're not, and you're going, well, God damn it, I didn't see this, right? To Shayna's point, it really is you just seeing opportunity. To me, you give me somebody that says no to me on a sale or something like that, I'm going to go, great. Now, how do I get my foot in the door, right? How do I actually sell to them? So I always look at, you tell me no, how do I make it a yes? So that could be my mindset, and that could be how I see things. But again, I'm going to say, in point to the show, I've never changed. It's been me the whole way. So if somebody says I've changed, I'm going to be like, no, I think you have.
What time did you go to bed when you were 14? 8 o'clock? He's still doing it, folks. He hasn't changed. He hasn't changed.
So,
all right, what did we learn today, folks? What did we learn?
What'd you learn, Eli?
I learned sometimes people change and sometimes people don't.
Eli learned sometimes people change and sometimes people don't. That's it. What'd you learn?
That I feel like you've eaten too many cakes at the Mad Hatter's party, and you just don't. You're just very delusional in your aspect of change. But I still love you, Joe, and it's fine.
I feel as though I'm the same person. I actually feel as though I've learned that this building is a little creakier than I thought it would be. Because every time the wind blows, I hear something leaning over here, and I'm going, are we gonna?
No, we'll be fine.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Here's what I learned. Joe would rather fish than go to a basketball game. That's all.
Amen.
That's what I've learned.
Oh, glory be.
You
know what? You want to be honest? My kids don't want to play basketball.
Yeah, I know.
They're
not
not a value in our life.
They're not American. Anyway.
ShamWow. ShamWow. ShamWow.
Shannon says 14-year-old boys seldom have the conviction to choose their employer over the hot girl. Oh, at 14, yeah, no, forget it. I'm calling in sick at 14 at that
Thank
point.
you,
yeah.
Shayna. Yeah. Thank you, Shayna.
The other thing that I learned is when somebody says, and Joe, you made me think about it. When somebody says, "Man, you've changed," is it an insult or a compliment? Maybe they've changed. Right?
It's not necessarily me.
Right.
Right? No.
Right. Or maybe they just haven't at all, because I can walk back to my hometown, go into the same bar and see the same people that were sitting there at 20 years old.
100%. 100%. Love that. Love that point. Great point.
And then we have
We end on that.
we're going to be doing a rerun next Friday for celebration of the 4th of July. So
Yay,
hopefully
man.
4th of July.
everybody comes back with the next week with all their fingers and toes and hands.
The grounds.
I mean, if you don't, show us some good pictures, though. We want to see. We want to see some missing fingers.
Yeah, the grounds will be back on the 5th, and they'll be talking about the octopus murders.
Shayna, thank
Have a
you for
great
that.
week. Yeah.
I love that we make you laugh and have a great week.
That's it. Promise
There it
here
is.
at 216 Creator Studios. This has been another great episode of In the Know with Steph and Joe.